Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the PantyNectar Podcast, your host, PantyNectar.
Hello, and welcome to the PantyNectar Podcast. We are on episode 61, so wherever you are listening, in your car, at work, at the grocery store, thank you so much for joining Mr. P and I. We are pumped about today's episode. We have never really discussed, we've talked about toys before. We've talked about dildos and vibrators and handcuffs and things like that, but we've never discussed some bigger sex toys. So we're going to dive into that today. But before we get started, thank you for that lovely introduction. I love that introduction.
Well, thank you so much, PantyNectar. I'm like, man, I gave my whole heart in that introduction. You're not even going to give me any credit for it. Thank you so much, PantyNectar. It's so good to be here with you. I know yesterday, actually, you had mentioned what you wanted to cover for the podcast today. And I was like, man, that's a real good topic. So, you want to talk about sex dolls?
I want to talk about sex dolls. I was online yesterday, and you can find anything on the World Wide Web.
On the interwebs.
Interwebs. And I found some really interesting facts about sex dolls, and I was like, oh man, we need to discuss some of this on the podcast because, I've never used a sex doll before. I don't think have you ever used a?
No.
I don't take you as a real life kind of.
You take me as the wrong kind of guy because if I had a sex doll,
we'd all be fucked.
Yeah. No, I think sex dolls are really interesting. Like you said, I've never used one actually. To be completely honest, I'm going back through my catalog of memories. I don't think I've even seen one in real life.
I don't think I have either.
Like a legit sex doll.
And I'm not talking like the blow up dolls either.
No. We're talking about like real fucking heavy sex dolls.
Yes.
And of course there's a lot of different variations of that, but people use, some regular sex dolls, and then they can get really, really, really lifelike.
Yes. One of the girls in our Discord, she actually posted, I believe, in the sex toys channel the other day, and she has where it's like the bottom half of a guy. So it's his dick, it's his the
torso,
his thighs,
area, yeah.
Like his, that part, and she uses it to ride on him and stuff, and apparently it's
Really?
Yeah.
Who was that in the Discord?
The Irish MILF chick, I believe.
Did she post it in the Sluts channel?
In the sex toys channel.
Oh, I was like, man, I didn't see that.
Yeah, you missed that one. No, it was in the sex toys channel because I think people were talking about a bunch of different sex toys, and she popped a video of that in there, and you should have seen the guys were like, how do you use that? Anyway, I fucking want to. Yeah. I could see how something like that could be very convenient.
I think so. It's like, okay, if you had this sex doll, would you use it? Some people may, some people may not. But I remember it's like the question people ask guys, right? Like, if you could suck your own dick, would you? It's like, well, let me reverse that question to you, sir. If you could touch your own dick, would you?
Yeah. So you would definitely suck your own dick.
Right?
He said it's rhetorical. I personally would be in trouble if I had a dick. It's probably a good thing that I have a pussy because I would be slinging that thing everywhere.
30 kids running around and shit. Fucking child support in 29 states.
I couldn't imagine having just this piece of meat that hangs in between your legs. I'd be doing some wild shit with it for sure.
Yeah.
It's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
So this website that I found, sexdolls.sg, we will be putting this in the show notes. So if you guys want to check this out after the podcast, head over to the show notes and you can find this link. There's this article, 14 Amazing Facts About Sex Dolls. There is no author for this. It's just on this website. So we will make sure to link this so you guys can check it out. Okay, so fact number 1. I read through these and I was like, oh my gosh, these are we'll dive in, but they get pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. So number 1, sex dolls are sometimes called Dutch wives in Japan. In Japan, the term love dolls and sex dolls is now widely used. However, they were recently referred to as Dutch wives. This term recalls the 17th century when Dutch sailors were said to have kept warm on a long sea voyage using leather masturbation puppets. During this time, the Dutch were important trading partners in Japan. The Dutch East Indian Company even established a base in Nagasaki, Hirado. Although it is unknown whether these hand-sewn leather puppets were traded, the term Dutch wives for sex dolls is still in use today.
Well, I can tell you the Japanese aren't giving a fuck about offending the Dutch. It's like, we have this little thing over here we like to fuck a little bit. We'll call it something Dutch wives.
Apparently, so we're going to dive in some more, but I guess Japan, they are widely... they use sex dolls widely. It's a very big thing.
Yeah, I think the Japanese seem to be into kind of dolls a lot more than just us Westerners are. I mean, the all the toys that have originated out of Japan,
right?
The dolls and whatnot, like the anime culture. Like they're really in tune to that. And so it's interesting that they would have they seem to, it's interesting because they have kind of like a open mindset towards it, except when you watch Japanese porn, they're still blurring out the pussy.
Everything is blurred out. I'm like, why?
This is the most senseless shit I've seen.
Do you know why that is? A cultural thing?
That's a censorship issue. I don't know why. I've just always assumed that they think that it's too graphic, yet they'll show 20 guys surrounding one chick with these white things shooting at her.
Yeah,
it's blurred out. I'm not sure what it is, but it's white stuff shooting out. I
love porn like that. Oh my goodness. Okay, number 2, Japan again. Japan has sex doll brothels. In Japan, you can go to a brothel that serves sex dolls instead of human prostitutes. This novel idea puts a modern twist on the world's oldest profession.
Yeah, I saw, the Chat GPT, the AI stuff, the language model or whatever. Someone on Twitter the other day, because there's been a lot of people talking about it, it's pretty easy to think what the positive outcomes could be from it, but people really hone in on the negatives, right? How is this going to fucking ruin humanity? Which it could, very well could. And one person noted, they were like, well, everybody's getting confused. They think that it's going to be the plagiarism issue in college campuses or whatever. They're like, what's really going to be the bad part is when they put this Chat GPT in sex dolls and the birth rates plummet. It's that's
I didn't even think about that.
Especially the direction where just robotics in general are going.
Yep.
And you combine that with a lifelike doll that can react and talk and do all these different things. So
I can see definitely how there's some good and some bad with that. Having a brothel that's just sex dolls means you don't have people in there, which could be a good thing. You know what I mean? When it comes to those certain things, but I feel like it's kind of a weird thing to step away from humanity more and go away from that direction. So I definitely see pros and cons.
I think it's definitely, I mean, for the, Japan having sex doll brothels, I think that is only a net win. I mean, what's the downside to it? Guys fucking dolls instead of women,
right?
I mean, in the context of that, these are, that they're going to a brothel to begin with, that it's prostitution,
right?
That it's probably better that they're having sex with dolls instead of
that's a big pro, yeah. Okay, number 3, Barbie dolls and sex dolls history intersect. Barbie, the famous and iconic toy doll, may not be as pure as she appears. Her origins are, in fact, somewhat contentious. Barbie was based on a German actress who inspired the creation of an erotic doll for men before becoming a symbol of the all-American family fun and living in a Malibu mansion with Ken. So
we always known Barbie's been a hoe.
I don't know. I don't know how true this is, but I did find it on several different websites about, I guess there's an actress in Germany who's a very erotica actress, if you will. And so they made a doll off of her, which then turned into what we know now as Barbie. Mm-hmm. That's pretty crazy. Okay. This is the one that absolutely blew my mind. And I'm sure some of you don't even know this. So this is a pretty cool fact. Sending sex dolls through the U.S. Postal Service was illegal. Until the 1960s, it was illegal in the United States to purchase a sex doll through the mail. The Comstock laws enacted in 1873 made sending contraceptives and sex toys through the U.S. mail illegal. These laws did not become obsolete until the 1960s, a decade known for embracing free love. It became legal in 1968 to send sex dolls via the U.S. Postal Service, allowing dolls to be advertised in pornographic magazines for the first time.
Yeah, I don't know. The United States has some stupid fucking laws, and there's one of them right there, the Comstock laws. Whoever Comstock was. It's
right?
Let's see. 1873, I don't know. We just come out of a country fighting itself. What could be better to come? Oh, I know what we missed. We missed sending sex dolls through a mail. Let's make that illegal because that's all of a sudden going to prevent a fucking future civil war.
Right.
Then it took nearly 100 years to redact those laws.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I couldn't imagine the porn magazines that were like, yes, put the dolls up there. We can do it now. The next fact that did not catch me off guard was Howard Stern got busy with the sex doll on the radio. I am a big fan of Howard Stern. We watch older clips of his radio show. I think he still does his radio show to this day. But Howard Stern is crazy and out there. And this one says, during his radio show in the 1990s, Howard Stern famously had sexual relations with a sex doll. This event introduced sex dolls to the general public in the United States.
I don't know as to go as far as to say that. I think the United States may have had an idea what a sex doll was before Howard Stern got busy with one.
It said Stern devoted a week of shows to his new toy as part of his shock jaw persona, claiming that the doll was the best sexual experience he had ever had, stating, quote, "This is the best lay I've ever had. God, I swear." The thing is, I can totally see Howard Stern up there like doing this. Yeah. That's the funny part. Okay. This one says, number 7, an American man married his sex doll. And the sex doll, which I know some of you may have seen that episode of, I think it's a TLC show like My Weird Obsession or something like that. There was actually a guy on there that like had a relationship with his sex doll.
Oh, yeah. Shit gets deep.
It does. Yep. People truly, they do. In the sex doll community, Dave Cat is well known. In real life, he is a data entry specialist from Michigan, but he is he's famous online for owning 3 dolls. Dave Cat has gained popularity due to his unusual decision to marry and refer to his first sex doll as his wife. He also has 2 other sex dolls who live with him as intimate companions in his Michigan home. Others interested in sex dolls have taken notice of Dave Cat's unusual situation. You know, I came across an article and he states that he's married to the first one and his other 2 are mistresses. They are. That's what he says.
This is my main chick. These are my 2 side hoes over here. Yeah.
Oh, what a way to do it.
I was thinking, like, imagine if old Dave Cat had a podcast. And maybe he does, but it's like, dude, like, he wouldn't be entering data anymore. Like, you'd be
exactly. And like people, I want to know more about that. What is that dynamic like? What is that?
You'd probably only get one side of the story.
Well, you would, but like I just wonder, like, does he really feel that way? Is it just like is it a comfort thing? Is it like,
why?
You know, yeah,
dig
like
deeper
why?
Into that, as far as I mean, like, we're all the way we are because of, you know, life experiences, but I would be interested to see is why people that way, you know, that lean towards like going away from humanity to find love and a human-like doll.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty interesting.
Have you ever seen that movie? It's called Her. I think I've talked about it before on Twitter with some people. But like that movie, he like long story short, falls in love with his Siri character.
Oh,
Everyone's given a Siri person that just lives in your headphones and the computer, whatever. And then like come to find out, he figured out that this AI robot had realized that she could gain the capability of having deeper emotional relationships with all these people, because she wasn't just assigned to him, but she was an AI robot that had just gained so much information that she was like out here loving all these different people. It's actually a pretty crazy movie. And like, yeah. Okay. The first sex doll brothel opened in 2017. With the opening of the world's first sex doll brothel in Germany in 2017, prostitution, often referred to as the world's oldest profession, has recently undergone a futuristic transformation. The establishment had 13 female sex dolls and 1 male sex doll, each used for about 12 sessions per day at around $100 per session. Since the brothel's debut, several others have opened, including one in Barcelona that allows visitors to choose between a sex doll and a human sex worker.
Man, that's interesting. So they have 13 sex dolls. I'm sorry, 13 female sex dolls and 1 male sex doll.
Yeah.
Each used for about 12 sessions per day at around $100 per session. 12 sessions each is used?
Yeah, each one is used.
So each one is bringing in roughly $1,200. if you cut that, say it's $1,000 a piece that
and you don't have
in.
to pay the...
And yeah, you see where we're going with this.
That's
that sounds
crazy.
Yeah. That's I actually went to the only brothel. No, that's not true. I went to a German brothel once when we were overseas.
I did not know that.
Yeah. No, I did tell you because I was with one of my friends that we went and had dinner with a few years back, and we were going overseas, we were overseas, but we were traveling, and he was wanting to, we had one night in Germany, and he was wanting to go have sex with a hooker, and so he convinced me to go with him, but I was actually with somebody at the time, and I went into the brothel and I sat there and I drank whatever beer they were serving. And he went back with some old Asian prostitute, had sex with her, and then we left. Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh gosh, I could only imagine too. Okay, next fun fact about sex dolls. A Korean soccer match was once watched by sex dolls. During the COVID-19's pandemic peak in 2020, FC Seoul, a top-tier South Korean soccer team, used sex dolls to fill seats in an empty stadium during a match. For their first home game of the season, the team used 28 female dolls and 2 male dolls. However, some dolls were discovered to be wearing clothing that promoted X-rated websites, resulting in complaints. The club claimed they were offered the dolls as mannequins and had no idea they were sex dolls. As a result, the K-League fined FC Seoul $81,300.
I'd like to know what that fine was for. Like, what did that text actually say? You're being fined for having 28 sex dolls.
Or for promoting XXX. I wonder, I do wonder what that looked like. But $81,000, that's a pretty hefty fine.
Yeah, it's like why the rest of the world, like the networks and the NFL, they were worried about pumping in crowd noise to the stadiums, or at least through the broadcast, so it made people seem like they were listening to a live football game,
right?
Because the whole COVID thing was a bunch of bullshit and mindfuck. They over in South Korea, they were putting sex dolls in the sand. So
that's so what a random thought. Sex dolls will be increasingly lifelike. Sex dolls used to be pretty basic in terms of capabilities. Nonetheless, recent advances in artificial intelligence have created dolls that can walk, talk, flirt, and even learn their owner's preferences. These more advanced dolls are becoming more lifelike companions. Years back, I haven't looked at this recently, but years back, they were actually coming out with some I was like, whoa, that's a big step to have a doll that can learn your preferences and that can talk back to you and that can speak to you, like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they've had that for, I mean, like, I remember was it the 90s, the mid to late 90s when, and I can't remember what toy it was, right? Was it the Namagotchi or whatever it's called, like a Japanese toy it was very low tech, but it did have the capability to learn certain things from its owner that, you know, was pretty much programmed with. I can't remember, but yeah, I mean, like, we haven't seen anything yet, especially with, you know, we've been beating around the bush with like artificial intelligence and stuff, and now with Chat GPT, you know, it's going to be a completely different dynamic.
Right. I think that there's very interesting things that come with that. I think it's great for people that don't have that much of a, I don't want to say social life, but don't have that same jazz that like someone like you and I going out, it's easy to do. And I can see how having a companion that you could kind of fit your mold would be nice to have at home.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be good, but I mean, it's like, I guess for that person, but you know, you're not getting, I don't know, I'm sure these things will evolve to a way to where it's like, you know, Web 1 versus Web 2, you know, it's like we're living in a Web 1 world in the sense of like, everything is being pushed out. There's really no communication coming back. But once that communication, you know, starts coming back and that lifelike doll is all of a sudden it knows that maybe you work night shifts and it's 4 a.m. and you walk through the door after a long night of work. It knows that you just got off the night shift and says, "Hey, how was your night? Why don't you come over here and tell me about it?" You know, holy shit. Now all of a sudden that's totally different than the guy walking through after the night shift and seeing his fucking his fleshlight sitting over there on the nightstand that he hasn't cleaned in fucking 3 weeks.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
okay. Last fact, displaying sex dolls in retail stores is illegal in Texas. In some U.S. states, including Texas, purchasing a firearm in a store is legal, but purchasing a sex toy or sex doll is illegal. This disparity stems from a 1970 law forbidding the open display of obscene devices, it's in quotes, defined as items, quote, primarily for the stimulation of human genital organs. It is also illegal in these states to own more than 6 vibrators. Despite a successful lawsuit against the state by sex toy retailers several years ago, this law remains in effect.
So they're saying that you cannot purchase, or let me rephrase that, purchasing a sex toy or sex doll is illegal?
I think, I don't know how true that is, but I think they're saying like you can't display, like the store can't display that they sell those things. You know what I mean? It's very interesting, right? Someone look that up.
Because it's,
illegal to own more than 6 vibrators. A lot of y'all are fucked listening to this podcast.
It's saying, but purchasing a sex toy or sex doll is illegal in Texas. So
right.
If that's the case, there's a lot of businesses that I think would be under more scrutiny. But nonetheless, you and I both know, you know, we are born and raised Texans. We are in Texas. Texas is a great state. There's a lot of amazing people here, but there's also some fucking backwards ass laws and I'm not even want to say cultural things, because the thing is that most people that push that kind of shit, they're fucking hypocrites.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, you want to sit here and act all high and mighty, but and act like, you know, whatever the case may be, that you want to cast judgment upon other people while your wife is getting gangbanged on fucking Saturday nights that nobody knows about.
Right.
Yeah, I don't. And then, you know, like the politicians that push this shit and the judges, especially the fucking judges in Texas. You talk about crooked.
Well, and I saw that they're all the feels, that couple that we follow on Instagram, they posted this morning actually talking about like some senator that's trying to ban sex or porn, something specifically that has to do with sex work, like nationwide.
Yeah,
there's something going on right now.
Oh, good luck with that.
Right.
You know what? I mean, it will probably get a lot of support. And then it's like, well, wait a second. Here's the interesting part to me is that people can say what they want to say. But when you dive into the data of it, we are all fucking sexual creatures. Just ask Google.
Yeah.
I mean, when they talk about like 70% of the web searches or whatever it is like porn, or searches on Google are related to porn.
Right.
You know, that transcends, you know, a lot. And people can act, you know, and we've discussed this before. We don't expect people to all have fucking Reddit profiles and go out and show their not safe for work life and do that. But here's the thing. If people do choose to do that, leave them the fuck alone. It has no ramifications on your life whatsoever, no matter what you think. So if you think that you're this, you know, you're a holier than thou individual that casts judgment on people doing these things, in your 9-to-5 day, and you're going out there and you're talking, no, look at this, look at what they did. And then when you go home at night, when you close the door, you fucking lay on your bed and you pull out your fucking whatever type dildo it is and turn on the nastiest porn that you could think of. No one's looking, but we all know, bitch. We all know.
I think like the best way, you know, and this is for anyone listening that's like, and I hope this is what a lot of what PantyNectar stands for, but like the people that are scared to like be into what they're into or like even explore more about what they're into, because maybe they get hate from certain people. And like the best way that I go about it is like, if anyone tries to say anything about what I do, it makes me laugh because I'm like, you probably like to get fucked in the ass. So I know that you have to learn to like just wash that shit off you and like just be you and find people that support you wanting to explore certain things and maybe change your circle around if that's the case, you know. We had someone in the Discord the other day. This guy was like, eating ass is nasty. And I was like, I eat ass. And like other people were like, I'll sign up to eat PantyNectar's ass. And like, he was like, I don't know, it's just kind of gross to me. And I'm like, I respect that. Like, I understand that it may not be your thing, but saying that it's nasty, like, okay, it's nasty to you, but not to me and not to someone else. It's like
me saying celery is fucking disgusting. You never hear me say celery is fucking... I always say I cannot eat celery.
Right.
I cannot eat it. I don't know what it is, but I cannot eat celery. But I know billions of people out there love celery.
That's a good way to put it.
You know what I mean? But
I cannot eat ass.
Yeah. I cannot eat ass.
I cannot eat ass. Well, why is that? Well, I don't like eating ass.
Okay, fair enough.
There you go.
Fair enough. But guess what? There's plenty of other people out there that do like to eat ass.
And it cracks me up that like the people's first instinct is to be like, oh, that's nasty, or like, not my thing. And I'm like, it may not be your thing, but...
And people are also looking for approval in that manner too, right? Like they go in some place and they say things that now don't get me wrong, there's trolls, you know, just go to Twitter. There's people that, you know, try to evoke negative emotions, but many times people are just trying to go and like say something that they think is going to be popular.
Right.
You know, and get the support of the people around them. And it's like,
well, that wasn't a smart move in the Discord. You should have seen it. Everyone was like, I'll sign up to eat PantyNectar's ass after that. It was super funny.
That's funny.
I don't think I'd, I don't think I'd be into the business of owning a sex doll. I think I got all the sex toys that I need.
Well, maybe not of owning a sex doll, but if you want to talk about sex doll business, renting one out at $100 a pop for 12 times a day sounds pretty lucrative, if you ask me.
We'll start a sex doll brothel.
I wonder if there's one in Vegas. If anybody's out in Vegas, let us know if there's one out. We might need to open up a PantyNectar.
Dude.
PantyNectar fuckaroo is what we could call
fuckaroo.
it. Yeah. Right there on the strip. The PantyNectar fuckaroo.
That would be cool to have our own little spot in Vegas with some sex toys that we like. Yeah. And, you know, we eventually down the line, like there's definitely things that I want to try. Like I want to get, I don't know what the correct word is, but like our own fleshlights made. I think that would be cool to do that. I was just talking to you the other day about the clone your dick things. Like that would be really cool to do with yours, and like me use them and sell them to people. Like that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I actually I think that'd be a great idea, PantyNectar. If anybody out there knows people And those type of industries where things, where we could get a PantyNectar's pussy molded, that'd be fantastic.
That'd be cool. But I want like a good one, you know?
Of course. That's what I'm saying. People in the industry, they'll know that we want good quality stuff. We don't want no bullshit. But it also has to be able to be produced in mass. So.
Right. That would be a lot of fun. The PN pussy, pocket pussy.
Yeah.
PN pocket pussy.
I think there would be plenty of those to be sold. And around the world, I know that there's thousands of people that would buy them already.
So if you would like a pocket pussy, or if you have any ideas on who to talk to get that done, please message me. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a 5-star review wherever you're listening. Apple, iHeartRadio, there's tons of podcast platforms. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we can't wait to see you next time for 62.
See ya.